Hey, it's Nathan with CrazyMarketing.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a full Facebook ad campaign from scratch. Now we're going to cover a lot of different topics in this video. We're going to talk a little bit about installing your pixel, configuring your events, setting up audiences, and then also configuring your campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And by the end of this video, you should understand how it all fits together, so that way you can go ahead and create your own ad campaigns on Facebook. Now I'm not going to go into every little detail in this video, or it would be a 6-hour long video, but of course I have videos on my channel. So if you need more information on something I go over in this video, please check out my channel because I'm sure I cover it in greater detail. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing over here. So we're going to go ahead and set up basically 3 campaigns. And the first campaign, we're going to be trying to get somebody to purchase a book. And so I have my sales page over here where I'm trying to get somebody to buy my book. So buy my book right here. So my beautiful sales page. And if somebody buys my book, then they'll land on my book thank you page over here. And it says, thank you for buying my book. And if they engage with me, like they go to my sales page but don't buy my book, or they watch my video advertisement like all the way through, well then I want to go ahead and retarget them because they've engaged with me, they've kind of warmed up, they know that I'm offering a book. And so I'm going to go ahead and have another campaign where I retarget for the book, and it'll be a different ad or ad set, and I'm going to run that for 3 days trying to get them to come back and actually buy my book. Now if they don't buy my book in those 3 days, well then I'm going to retarget them for a simple lead magnet. So basically I'm going to try and capture their contact information so that way I can follow up with them in email or other retargeting ads and try and get them to take other actions on my website, maybe buy my book, maybe buy my courses, or some other product or service that I'm trying to sell. So that's kind of like the full campaign that I'm going to set up in this video. Now, as part of the full campaign, we do have to make sure that we're tracking events correctly. We're going to have audiences that we're targeting or excluding and so on. So we have a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, you want to make sure that your pixel is installed correctly on your website. And so I'm running a WordPress website right here, and I'm using a plugin called Pixel Your Site, which I find to be the best plugin for adding your pixel to the website, and it also supports other tracking tools like Google Analytics. So you want to make sure that you've set up a data set and your pixel and your API tracking if applicable. And you can come to the Events Manager, so you can just come over to All Tools and Events Manager, and you should get to a page like this. And depending if you have a pixel or not already, it will give you an option to set up a pixel, or you could come over here to Manage Integrations, and then you could go ahead and set up your meta pixel through this method, or get the pixel ID if you need that. And I have another video all about setting up the pixel ID as well as the conversion API. So check out that video if you need more details. But the point is, you need your pixel code and you want to install it on your website, which I've already done here. As you can see, I have my meta pixel ID right there as well as the conversion API. Now I need to go ahead and set up the events that I'm tracking. So I want to track the purchase event when somebody buys my book. And I also want to go ahead and set up lead tracking events. So if somebody opts in for my lead magnet, I want to make sure that I'm tracking them as leads. So we'll come over to the events area, and I'm just going to scroll on down, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new event and fire when a page is visited with 0 delay. Fire this event once in 24 hours. That's fine. And so now I need to grab the URL someone lands on when they buy my book. So it's this right here. So book-ty, book thank you. So I'm just going to copy that, plug it in here, and I want to make sure that I enable this event on Facebook, and the event type is going to be a purchase. So we'll select that. I'm not going to worry about adding parameters or anything like that. We'll just go ahead and save the event. And I want to go ahead and add another event for lead. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add. And I'm going to go ahead and name this one. I realized I didn't name the purchase one, so we'll name it to lead. And we'll fire this on a page visit as well. URL contains, and I have my sales funnel blueprints thank you page right here. So I'll go ahead and copy it. So URL contains this information, plug it in there. And I want to go ahead and enable it on Facebook. And my event type for this will be a lead. And we'll scroll on down and save event. So now I've set up my 2 events, my lead event and my purchase event. And I'm going to want to go ahead and test them out real quick. So we'll come back to the events manager over here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on test events. And I want to go ahead and click on confirm my website events are set up correctly. And I'll plug in my website URL and open the website. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my book thank you page, which should trigger my purchase event. I also have the Meta Pixel Helper up here installed, and I can click on it and I can see that it's fired off 2 events. So I have my page view event as well as my purchase event, so I'm guessing that it's working. And I'm going to go ahead and visit my Sales Funnel Blueprints thank you page as well, and I can see 2 events fired off here, and I see my lead event as well as my page view event. Let's come back over here to the events manager, and I can see that I have my purchase event came through and my lead event came through as well. So it looks like my pixel is set up correctly and it is tracking my conversion. So that's step one, making sure that your conversion tracking is working correctly, so that way Facebook's algorithm can make sure that it's giving you the results you actually want. So if you don't have conversion tracking installed or your pixel installed, like, Facebook's not going to be able to tell if it's actually delivering the results that you're going after. So it's absolutely critical to make sure that you have a pixel and possibly the conversion API configured for your website and its tracking event, so that way you're getting all the information possible to feed back into Facebook so I can use its super fancy algorithm to optimize your advertising efforts, getting you the results that you want. So that's basically step one, is getting your pixel and your events configured. Up next, we're going to get into some audiences that we're going to go ahead and create. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go to the ads manager, and then I'm going to go to audiences right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on create audience, and I'm going to create a custom audience, and my source will be my website, and I'm going to go ahead and click on next. And make sure that you've selected your correct data set or pixel. My event right here is not going to be all website visitors. Instead, it's going to be people who visited specific web pages. And I'm actually going to make this a 180-day audience. And then the URL contains, and we'll go ahead and do book. Thank you. And my audience name right here, purchased book 180 days. And create audience. And then I'm also going to go ahead and create a lookalike audience of people that have purchased my book. Now, typically you want at least a few hundred people in your custom audience. So I'd want a couple hundred book buyers before I bother creating a lookalike audience. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough data there in order to actually create a lookalike audience. However, since this is just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and create a lookalike audience anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do create a lookalike audience. So purchase booked 180 days, and I'm going to go ahead and do the United States for my location. And since the United States has a relatively large population, I'm just going to leave it at a 1% lookalike audience, because that's still a 2.8 million person audience, which is large enough. So I'll go ahead and click create audience. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another custom audience of people that have landed on my book sales page, because I'm going to wind up using that audience for retargeting people that have landed on that page but then did not buy my book. So for my source, again, I'm going to go ahead and select website here and next. And I want to go ahead and change my event to people that visited specific web pages. And in this case, my retention is just going to be 3 days. So I'll just retarget people for 3 days. And my URL contains book. And I'll go ahead and leave it like that. And now I'll go ahead and name my audience. Visited book sales page 3 days, and create audience. And I'm not going to bother creating a lookalike audience here. I'll just go ahead and click on done. Now I want to create another custom audience of people that visited my book sales page in the last 8 days, because this is going to be part of my campaign 3. So retarget people for lead magnet with an image for the next 5 days. So they'll see my retarget for book for 3 days, then for another 5 days they'll be retargeted for a lead magnet. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, so I need an audience to cover that time frame. So I'll go ahead and create a custom audience. And so what I'm doing right here is setting up a staggered retargeting campaign, so that way people see different offers over a period of time, and helps prevent ad fatigue from happening, so people like becoming blind to your ads or ignoring you and so on. So you can keep hitting them with fresh content. So I'm going to go ahead and do a website source and next. And my event is going to be people who visit a page, and my retention is 8 days and contains, and this time it's going to be book again. And then I'm going to go ahead and name it, and I'll go ahead and create an audience. And I'm not going to create a lookalike audience, so I'll click on done. I'm going to create another custom audience. So we'll create another custom audience, and it'll be website activity and next. And in this case, I want to go ahead and get a audience of all the people that have opted in for my lead magnet. So I'm going to go ahead and do people who visit a specific page. This one's going to be another 180-day audience. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the thank you page for my lead magnet. So it's this blueprints one right here. I'll go ahead and grab this and come back over here, and URL contains blueprints thank you and audience name. So I have lead, website, blueprints, 180 days, and I'll go ahead and create my audience, and I'll click on done. Now there's a couple other audiences that I want to go ahead and create. So I have my through play ad audience, where if somebody watches 15 seconds of my ad, or the entire ad if it's less than 15 seconds, well then I'll create an audience of those individuals. However, the ad hasn't been created yet, so I can't create an audience of people for an ad that hasn't actually been created yet. So we'll need to come back in order to create that audience. Additionally, I want to go ahead and create an audience of people that have opted in through my lead form, or instant form is what they now call it. And I haven't created this form yet, so we're going to have to come back in order to create this custom audience after I've created the form. So we got a couple more audiences to create, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started on our campaign. So we'll come over to the campaigns area, and I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new campaign. And in this case, I'm going after sales, right? I'm trying to sell my book right away. That's my campaign 1. I want to sell a book, and I'm going to be having 2 ad sets in here, a lookalike ad set, as well as an interest and behavior-based ad set, and I want to see which one performs the best. So we're going to come and create it, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the manual sales campaign and continue. And I'm going to go ahead and name my campaign. So this will be, campaign 1, and I want them to purchase my book, and it's a cold traffic campaign. Now I'm going to go quickly through these other settings. I'm going to go ahead and turn on Advantage Campaign Budget. So this means that my budget will be set at the campaign level, and then Facebook will distribute the money to my ad sets. So my lookalike ad set as well as my interest and behavior ad sets. And it'll push the money to the ad set that's giving me the best results. And I have a video all about Advantage Campaign Budget. If you need more information, please check out my channel. I'm going to go ahead and set my daily budget. We'll do $100 a day. And that's good enough for my campaign settings. We're going to move to the ad set level now. And so this first ad set I'm going to set up is my lookalike ad set. And I want to optimize for website conversions. My performance goal is to maximize conversions. My pixel, select the appropriate pixel. And I want to optimize for purchase conversions. And scrolling on down here, I'm going to go ahead and edit the ad set spending limit. I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to add one, and my minimum budget for this ad set will be $20. So at a minimum, Facebook will spend $20 on this particular ad set, even if it's not performing as well as the other ad set. And again, I have more details in my Advantage Campaign Budget, so please check that out if you want more details. But we're going to keep scrolling down to Advantage Plus Audience, and I want to go ahead and switch to Original Audience options right here. And it tries to talk me out of doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's the only way I can target a lookalike audience. And I'm going to come down here, so I want to go ahead and select my custom audience of my lookalike audience. So I have my lookalike audience right here. And again, I wouldn't really be using this lookalike audience unless I've seeded it with several hundred people first in my custom audience. So I'd want a few hundred people in my book buyer's audience before I actually use the lookalike audience. But there's not going to be enough data for Facebook to actually create a solid lookalike audience. But again, we're doing this for demonstration purposes only, so it is fine. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some exclusions. So I want to exclude some people. So I'm going to exclude everybody that has visited my book sales page in the last 8 days. I'm also going to exclude everybody that has purchased my book in the last 180 days because there's no point in trying to sell them the book again if they've already bought it. And people that have visited my book sales page in the last 8 days, well, I'm going to be showing them retargeting ads for different offers. So I don't want to show them these ads that I'm creating right now. And I'll go ahead and exclude my leads as well because maybe I'm doing something else with them. They're already warmed up to my brand. And maybe I don't want to sell them a book. I want to sell them some other more expensive product or service. So we'll go ahead and exclude my leads as well. And then I'm going to leave everything else wide open in the audience settings. And placements are fine as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and create my ad. And I can go ahead and name my ad and select the appropriate identities. And I'm going to go ahead and do a manual upload of my ad. And it's going to be a single image or video. And again, I have a video all about creating an ad. If you need more information on the details here, please check out my channel as I know I'm going very quickly right now. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my video ad. So I have my video already uploaded. I'll go ahead and click on next. And ideally I would have different sizes for the different placements. However, I don't have that right now. And I'm not actually going live with this, so it's okay for demonstration purposes. But if this was real life, I would have different image sizes or video sizes for the different placement options, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on next. And I'm going to go ahead and leave all optimizations on and click on done. And I'll scroll on down to finish filling out my ad. So I need to add some primary text, a headline, and a description. So here's my ad and my copy and all that type of stuff. And of course I can see a preview over here if I wanted to see what it would look like in all the different placements. But I'm going to finish up by adding my destination right here and scroll on down. I want to make sure that my website tracking is turned on and I'm using the appropriate pixel. And there we go. I'm happy with this ad. Now I've actually created this ad though, and I can now go back and actually create an audience of people that have performed a through play of this particular ad. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick before moving on to the next step. So we'll come over to audiences now, and I'm going to go ahead and create an audience and a custom audience. And I'm going to be using a meta source and my video, and I'll click on next. And I'll choose my content type, and I want people who have either completed or viewed at least 15 seconds of your video, so my through play right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and choose my video, and I have my video right here that I'm gonna go ahead and select and confirm. And in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and add a 3-day retention, because again, I wanna be targeting people that have both landed on my sales page or watched a through play of my ad. And I'll be retargeting them during campaign 2, which is a 3-day period. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 days and then name this audience and create audience and done. And I'm gonna create another one that is 8 days. So same concept, video, and choose my concept, through play, and choose my video, this video right here, and confirm. And this one's going to be 8 days, and audience, and create audience, and done. And then I'll go back to the campaigns, and I'll click into the campaign that I'm working on, and I'm gonna go ahead and edit my ad set right here, and I want to go ahead and add some exclusions to my audience. So now I can go ahead and exclude people that have watched my book ad in the last 8 days, because I'm going to be retargeting them with some different ads, so I don't want to show them these ads too. So there we go. Now I need to go ahead and create another ad set where I'm targeting people based off of their interests and behaviors. So I'm actually just going to duplicate this ad set. So we'll duplicate, and I want to keep it in the original campaign. I'm going to keep the same number of copies, and I'll keep my existing reactions, comments, and shares on my new ads, because my ad's going to be the same. It's just going to be who I'm targeting is different. So we'll go ahead and click on duplicate, and I want to scroll on up here and rename this audience. So this one will be based off of interests and behaviors, and it has all the same conversion settings. This is all good right here, and coming on down. And in this case, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn on use advantage plus audience. So I'm going to click this option right here, and then I can scroll on down to my audience controls. I'm going to click on more, and I'm going to go ahead and edit my minimum age right here, and I'm going to go ahead and select 25, because until people are 25, they're not spending much money with, you know, my type of business. But maybe your type of business is different, but my minimum age will be 25. And then I can go ahead and exclude the custom audiences. So I still want to exclude all these people because I'm going to be retargeting them, or they've already bought the book and so on. And then we'll keep scrolling on down here. Now I have my lookalike audience right here, and I want to go ahead and remove that because I'm already targeting them in my lookalike campaign. And in this one, I want to go ahead and focus on the different demographics, interests, and behaviors for people that might be interested in buying what I'm offering. So I'll go ahead and select some demographics, interests, and behaviors for people that I think would want to buy my book. So I went and found some interests and behaviors that I stacked together that I think would help me find my ideal customer. So I have people that are interested in drop shipping or Shopify or WooCommerce, and they have a new active business in the last 12 months. And they're also retail page admins. So I think that these people would be interested in a book about sales funnels. Now it won't give me my audience size because I have some exclusions up above. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these exclusions real quick and see if it gives me a projected audience size, because I wanna make sure that I have an audience that isn't too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these real quick, and I can add them back in just a second. And it's a good thing that I did this because I can see my audience is between 28 and 33,000 individuals, which is way too small, and I want it closer to like 2 million. So I'm gonna come back down here. I'm gonna remove one of these behaviors. We'll remove this one right here, and we're a little bit bigger. So let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger by adding some more behaviors right here. Let's go ahead and add suggestions. And I added small business owners right here for my digital activities, and we can see my audience size is between 1.9 and 2.2 million. So that sounds about perfect, and I'm quite happy with my audience now. Now I can come back up here and exclude those individuals because I'm already going to be retargeting them, or they've already bought my book or become a lead or something like that. So we'll go ahead and exclude, and there we go. I'm happy with that. Now my placements can stay the same, and my video ad will stay the same. I'm running the same ad, just targeting a different group of people. Alrighty, so my first campaign is set up now. Again, I'm targeting cold traffic using a lookalike audience as well as an interest or behavior-based audience. And I'm trying to get people to buy my book. Now my next campaign, I'm going to be retargeting people that have performed a through play on my video or landed on my sales page that is selling my book. So let's go ahead and set up my campaign 2 right now. So I'm going to close out of here, and we'll come to the campaign level, and we'll create a brand new campaign. And again, I'm going after sales. I'll click on continue. And I'm going to do a manual sales setup and continue. And I'm going to go ahead and name this one. So this will be to purchase book, target 3 days. So this is my second campaign. I'm trying to get people to purchase my book. It's a retargeting campaign, and I'm going to be retargeting people within a 3-day period. So all these settings stay the same. I'm not going to turn in Advantage campaign budget in this particular example, we'll move on to the next step. So I'll go ahead and set up my ad set. And I'm only going to have one ad set, so I'm not going to worry about renaming it. It's fine for this particular example. My performance goal is to get conversions. I want to make sure that I have my correct pixel selected. And again, I'm going after purchase events. And we'll scroll on down here. Now, retargeting budgets don't have to be as large as like your cold traffic budgets because your audiences are going to be significantly smaller. So I might start this at like $5 a day and see how many impressions it starts getting and how many times individuals are seeing my ads. Like if they're seeing my ads like 10 times in a day, well then that is way too much and I'm spending too much money. But if they're only seeing my ads maybe once a day, well then I might need to increase my budget. But I'll start a little small, $5 a day, and we'll see where that takes us. So scrolling on down here, and I get to the Advantage Plus audience, and I want to go ahead and switch to my original audience options and use original audience. And now I'll be able to target my custom audiences. So now I can throw in my watch book ad in the last 3 days audience, as well as visited my book sales page in the last 3 days. So I'm going to put my ads in front of these people, and I'm going to add a couple exclusions as well. So I want to go ahead and exclude people that have already purchased my book. So exclude purchased book in the last 180 days, and I'll also exclude my leads in the last 180 days because I'm trying to sell them more expensive products and services. Now, Facebook is asking if I want to use Advantage Custom Audience, and it says reach people beyond your custom audience when it is likely to improve performance. That sounds good, but what I'm trying to do is retarget people, so I don't want Facebook to be using their algorithm trying to find more people, and instead I just want to focus on the people that I already have in my custom audiences. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, but maybe you could create an ad set that has it included and kind of test having this setting turned on or off, just depending on what you're trying to do. Let me scroll on down. I'm going to leave everything else wide open because I'm retargeting people that have already engaged with my business and I don't want to accidentally narrow them down and cut someone off. So I'm going to leave all these targeting options wide open, placements wide open, and then I'm going to go ahead and create my new ad. And I'm going to go through the process of setting my ad up. I'll do a manual upload, a single image or video, and I'm going to go ahead and add my media, and I'm going to go ahead and add a video, upload, and I'll click on next now. So this is what my ad will look like. Again, I would make sure that I have the proper dimensions in all the different placements if I was going live for real. But since this is just for example purposes, it's good enough for me. So I'm going to click on next, and I'll leave all optimizations on and click on next or done. And then I'm going to scroll on down here and I'm going to add my ad copy. And so there's my ad right there, and I could change these settings down here, but let's go ahead and throw the link to my sales page in here and scroll on down and make sure my tracking is turned on and all this stuff looks good. And so now my first retargeting campaign is set up. So for the first 3 days after somebody watches my initial ad video or goes to my book sales page, you'll see this ad right here. And hopefully this ad will get them to come back to my sales page and actually buy my book. However, if 3 days pass by and the individual still has not purchased my book, well then we're going to go ahead and retarget them for a lead magnet. So that's the next campaign we're going to go ahead and set up. So let me close out of here and come back to the campaigns, and we'll go ahead and create. And in this case, I'm going to go after leads. So I'm going to select the lead campaign objective and continue. And I'm going to go ahead and use manual leads campaign and continue. And I'll go ahead and name this campaign. This will be my third campaign, and leads. So blueprint leads, retargeting campaign, and days 4 through 8. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on Advantage Campaign Budget again because I'm going to have 2 different ad sets in this particular campaign. One of the ad sets is going to bring the person to my website where I try and convert them to a lead, and another ad set is going to pop up an instant form where somebody can fill that out within Facebook itself and become a lead. And I want to optimize for the one that converts the best. So then I'm going to come to the ad set settings right here, and this one will be convert on website. And so for my conversion event, I'm going to go ahead and select website right here, and I'm going to scroll on down. So I want to maximize for conversions. I'm going to select my pixel, and then I'm going to select the lead event because that's what I'm optimizing for. Coming on down, and I need to set my budget, which I need to do at the campaign level. So let me scroll down a little bit more, and I'm just going to run this at like $5 a day as well, because again, this is a retargeting campaign, and there's just not as many people in these audiences as my cold traffic campaign, so a few dollars can go a long way. And I can always increase or decrease the budget if people aren't seeing my ads enough or if they're seeing them too much. So we'll start with $5. All right, come back to the ad set level and scroll on down. And in this case, I'm not going to go ahead and set any ad spending limits, but I want to come to the Advantage Plus audience, and I'll go ahead and switch to my original audience options and use original audience and scroll on down, and I want to go ahead and target my 8-day audiences. So people that have visited my book page in the last 8 days and people that have watched my book ad in the last 8 days. And then I want to go ahead and add some exclusions. So I want to go ahead and exclude people that have watched my book ad in the last 3 days because I'm retargeting them with my second campaign, right? And I don't want to include them in this particular advertising effort, and that's why it's called staggered retargeting, because I'm staggering my campaigns and my ads so people see different ads at different times. So I'll exclude my 3-day audience, and I'll exclude my other 3-day audience, and I want to go ahead and exclude all my leads in the last 180 days because there's no point in trying to get another lead again. And I also want to exclude my book buyers because if they've already purchased something from me, then they're already a customer and I already have their contact information, and then no point in converting them into a lead. And I'm going to turn off my Advantage Custom Audience, but I'm going to leave everything else wide open. And then I'll go ahead and create my new ad. And so come on down here, it's going to be a manual upload, single image, and I'm going to go ahead and add my media, and I'm going to upload a new image, select this one right here, and I'll go ahead and click on next. And again, I would optimize my sizes, but I'm not worried about it right now, so we'll click on done, and I'm going to leave on all of my Advantage Plus creative options, and then I'm going to come down here and add my copy. And so there we go, happy with that. And then I need to link over to my website, so linking over there. And scrolling on down here, everything else looks okay. Make sure I have my tracking turned on so that way I'm tracking for those lead events. And everything looks good to me right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate my ad set here and create one that utilizes the instant form option. Instead of taking people to my website, a form will pop up within Facebook where they can quickly submit their information for these free sales funnel blueprints. So let's go ahead and duplicate this ad set. We'll duplicate, and I'm keeping it in the original campaign, and I want to keep my reactions, comments, and shares, and we'll click on duplicate. And this time I'm going to go ahead and call this one the instant form, and for my conversion location I'm going to change this to instant forms right here. And we'll scroll on down, make sure we have this correct Facebook page. We want performance goal of maximize the number of leads, and all this stuff looks okay. We have the same audience as before, so this all looks good. Coming on down, everything looks good, placement's good. Okay, let's go ahead and check out our ad now. And in this case I need to go ahead and change my ad a little bit because I'm using that instant form. So I need to go ahead and change my destination. So I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new form real quick, and I have a video all about instant forms because there's some fancy stuff you can do with them, where you can have like a conditional flow where if somebody answers one question this way, then it shows them some other questions and so on. So it's a really cool feature, but in this particular video, I'm keeping it very simple. And I'll go ahead and name my form. So Sales Funnel Blueprints. Form type, I'm going for more volume. And I got my intro right here. And I'm just going to use the image from my ad. And I can add a greeting. So I have my form right here. Tell me where to send the 14 Sales Funnel Blueprints for e-commerce stores, coaches, consultants, and then also high-end services, and then the questions. So I'm just collecting the email and the full name. And I'm actually going to switch these order real quick. I find it more natural to type your name in before your email, but you can put it any way you want it. And actually, while using these instant forms, Facebook will automatically fill in the information, so then the user doesn't have to type it in, which can be a good reason to use these instant forms because it takes down one of those steps where somebody has to type in their information, as Facebook pre-fills it already. But this is what my form looks like, and then there's a privacy policy and message for leads. So thanks, you're all set, and then they could go ahead and visit my website or do something else if I want them to. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and click create form, and I got a couple error messages that I'm going to resolve real quick, and I'll click create form again. So now I've created my form and it's already selected right here. Now as you can see, it kind of like wiped out my ad as well, so I need to come back up here and add my content back in here. So I'm going to do that real quick. And there we go, my ad copy is all back. And I do recommend connecting your CRM so that way your leads are automatically delivered to your email marketing tool, so that way you can send the lead magnet to your leads. And in my instant form videos, I go over how to do that. So check out my channel if you need more information. Now tracking, it'll automatically turn this off, but what I usually do is I turn back on website events, so that way I'm tracking in case someone fills out my form and then clicks on the button on the last page. So this page right here where it says thanks, you're all set, and then they have the option to view the website. So maybe they click that button, go to my website and buy something. Well, then I want to go ahead and track those events. So I do recommend turning on your tracking so you could track that just in case somebody goes to your website and buys something. Alrighty, so now we have all 3 campaigns set up, and we can actually do our last audience as well. So we have our custom audience for people that have submitted the lead form. So let's come back out here and create our final custom audience. So we'll come to audiences and we'll go ahead and create an audience and a custom audience, and our source is going to be a lead form, and we'll click on next, and we're going to change our event to anyone who opened and submitted the form, and select the appropriate page and select their lead form. So my sales funnel blueprints lead form, and my retention is going to be 180 days, and you can see the maximum retention is 90 days, so we'll put 90 in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and name my audience. So this is lead instant form blueprints 90 days. And I'll go ahead and create the audience. And I'm not going to create a lookalike audience or anything. So I'll click on done. And now I want to come back to my campaigns real quick. And I'm going to go from one campaign to the next and making sure that my audiences all look good. So I'll go ahead and edit my lookalike audience right here. And I want to make sure that I'm excluding everybody that I'm supposed to be and including those that I want to include. So I want to go ahead and add in that new lead form audience as an exclusion, because I want to exclude anybody that's already opted in. And same concept with my interests and behaviors ad set over here. I want to go ahead and exclude my lead audience. So come on to my audience controls, and we'll go ahead and exclude my lead audience right there. And we'll come back out and go to my next campaign. So I have my purchase book retargeting campaign and my ad set in here. And I'm going to go ahead and exclude that lead instant form last 90 days. And we'll close out of there. And then one last campaign to edit and 2 ad sets in here. So I'm going to click on edit. So I want to exclude people that have filled out my instant form. So come on down, exclude instant form. And same with my convert on website. I want to exclude instant form filler outers from this one as well. So exclude, and there we go. And I can close out of here and come back to the campaign level. So now I have all 3 of my campaigns set up. I have my cold traffic campaign that's going to be sending people directly to my sales page to buy my book, and I'm testing 2 different audiences. I have a lookalike audience as well as one that's created with the interests and behaviors. And anybody that watches my ad or lands on my sales page will then be retargeted for 3 days with a different ad in order to go and buy my book. And then after 3 days, so days 4 through 8, those same individuals, if they have not purchased my book yet, will then be offered a lead magnet in order to download some sales funnel blueprints. I'm testing it where I send them to my website to opt in, and I'm also testing a Facebook instant form to see which one generates the most leads. So this is a full complete campaign, and if I was doing this for real, I'd go ahead and turn them all on. So I can check all those boxes and review and publish, and they would go out into the world and start making me millions and millions of dollars. Now I know I covered a lot in this video, and so if you want more information on different details, please check out my YouTube channel, because I go into a lot of different details on all the different elements that we covered in this video. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I appreciate sorts of likes, comments, subscribes, and or check out crazymarketing.com, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.